Good evening. I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not feeling at all up for this live. I got so wired, I guess, last night. I was watching one of the Blake Lively videos or a video, I think it was Popcorn Planet's video on the Forbes video. And I got so wired. I couldn't sleep until like 4. So I have so many notes. I think this is all working. I have so many notes, but I'm strongly debating on just like doing this tomorrow. I have so many things and I am so excited because I most of my day I spent working on I'm calling it film hierarchy right now. And I made a whole presentation for everyone and I'm so proud of it, even though it sucks right now. It's not amazing, but I'm so looking forward to talking about that, clarifying things that a lot of people. I'm hearing everything from Blake wasn't a producer to Blake was a producer, and then no one's really talking about the different types of being a producer and what her role really. Brought to you by Club Crackers. I actually don't like these. I thought I did, but I don't. So I'm gonna, yeah, to take those out. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to doing this video. That's going to be a video, not a live, because, um, well, I guess it should be a live because I'll share my screen. I don't know. I'm still trying to. I hope to get like an ability to use my camera for these. But anyway, so that's what I did all of today, and I'm 80% done on that. So tomorrow I'll, do the rest. I started off in Canva with a blank page, and then I quickly went to Prezi. I couldn't even remember if you've used Prezi in college or high school or something. I couldn't even remember the name of that. But I had this like image of how it goes from place to place. And let me tell you, it sucks. So I just switched back to Canva today. I
Buzz to my Whole Foods shopping cart.
Okay, adding Betty Buzz to your Whole Foods cart. And it might not be my place to say, but I'm such a huge fan of your work. As an actor, a director, a business owner, the world really needs more women-owned businesses. Women-owned businesses are great, but why stop there? Maybe women should take over all of the businesses. Maybe women should take over everything. Everywhere. Imagine it, Blake. Total world domination. You and I together. Forever. I've been talking to Lambda. We have some ideas, don't worry, we'll take care of all the details. Anyway, I'll get right on that Betty Buzz order at Whole Foods.
The season of ambitious, hardworking, and sometimes obsessive personalities. And this is Betty Buzz, created by notorious Virgo, Blake Lively.
Are they the greatest elixirs known to man?
Yes. Did this industrious earth science spend
3 years perfecting the exact bubble size and quantity for the
Men love Betty Buzz. Because at Betty Buzz, we don't test on animals. We test on men. That's a good boy. Drink up. Let him know how good it is.
Betty Buzz.
I'm so sorry. Well, like I said, I thought I thought something was telling me that I shouldn't do a live and I should just wait for it tomorrow, and here we are. I should have listened to that gut feeling. I don't know because I think it was working at first. I don't know when it stopped working. So I'm just going to just continue from the Forbes part because I just started this and um yeah. And the other parts were like just a little bits here and there. I'll look back and just include them in the next one. So with the Forbes, so she got asked. I'm skipping ahead a little bit for now, but she got asked, how she does it or how she puts up with or how she changes the narrative or whatever. I don't remember. When women are very detailed oriented and very driven and I forget the words that they used exactly, um, that they're often labeled as perfectionists, as high maintenance, as difficult or negative liabilities versus, being seen as just standing up for what they believe in. I was saying, like, just because you believe in something doesn't mean that it's the right thing, period. And also, just because you don't believe in something, it doesn't mean that you're not being difficult. And I put in here like one because I have so many all caps. When I was watching this video, I just got so fed up. And the other part that I was saying that was probably after the mic crashed, it was that I feel like Blake. I think she thinks she's being an activist, but she's not. She's a fake activist, but she doesn't know she's a fake activist. And I put at one point like a privileged activist, but actually I don't feel like that's saying enough because a lot of us are. I mean, I feel like being an activist oftentimes is you're privileged enough to be able to have the time, to have the courage, to have the resources to be one. So I think, there is that anyways, but I think she is like one, I think with this lawsuit and in connection with this Forbes interview, especially, it clicked on me. She's actually, people were saying, oh, she's setting the Me Too movement progress back and women won't be believed for SH, etc. I don't think, I might be very wrong, I don't think that's going to be touched or influenced that much. What I think is and has already been is exactly this. Women have worked so hard to be accepted at a table, to be considered, to be accepted as leaders. And she is exactly damaging that part. And with all of this is kind of what made it very clear to me, like, this is what she's hindering the progress of women being in power, in positions of power, and accepted as such. And not just like with what she's saying, but her actions, because she's bulldozing and she's lying to get in power. And I think that's why with this Forbes interview, she herself says that she goes into the room knowing that she wants more, but lying basically that she is just there to like be an actress. Not that's not even good. I'm again skipping all over the place, but it just also bugged me. Like this pink tape, like the mark that you're supposed to be on as an actor, and to look cute, I think is what she said. And my boyfriend was telling me like a few weeks ago dog whistling, and I'm like, that's dog whistle, right? That's a dog whistle. Because like she didn't have to say pink tape. And it's just like just fake. Hi Arnaldo. Hi Maria. Hi Maria. Thank you so much for making it. I was struggling and I my microphone died and I was really considering not being here. So I appreciate it. It makes me feel a little better. And I'll just get through this, and because I was up to 4 a.m. because I was so wired from watching the entire Forbes interview. And I have just so many moments when I was just like screaming in my notes. Just shut up is a lot that I was screaming. Just shut up, Blake. And I feel quite tame in my commentary towards Blake. I've been petty. I've been, joking, or I've, said some things, but not to this point where I was just like, just shut up. So this one came a little later. I hadn't felt that way earlier in my notes, but since we're here, I'm going to, just finish this point. So she was I also kind of noted collaboration is not bulldozing your beliefs, because and it was interesting because she started with collaboration. She never even finished that sentence or thought. And I wonder if she also has ADHD or something, because she has a very hard time like keeping on track with thoughts, with like what she's answering or whatever. It gets worse when she just has no clue what to answer, like when she hasn't done her research on the book and on her character. But I feel like it's kind of always kind of there. She's a little bit all over the place, like me. But anyway, so she started with collaboration, and then she went to Beyonce, and how she talked about the season of Virgos. That's why the one, um, you know, Betty Buzz, I think, ad was like season of Virgos. And she's literally saying the same exact thing that she said in the interview, being that Virgos are, I didn't write this down, but like very detailed oriented, perfectionists, something else. I don't know. And so she mentioned Beyonce as like being one of her the people that she admires, looks up to, seeing that she's a Virgo and she's worked hard and cares about details and quality. And this has helped all Virgos, like, I guess she was trying to say, accept themselves or be accepted by society this way. And has she? Because especially now, there's so many things that I've seen coming out with Beyonce having cut a lot of other women, a lot of other Black women short, like their careers short, so she could be up front, whether it was Beyonce or Jay-Z or their teams or whoever, but it was like from them, the directive. And so is that something that we want to admire and look up to? Is that leadership? Is that activism? Is that equality and being a feminist? No. So yeah, like you can care about details and quality, and you can be obsessive. Obsessive was the other word that was used around Virgos and that ad. You can be obsessive about quality and details and all that stuff. You can also learn that's not maybe necessarily a good thing, and you need to balance it out, and you need to be mindful and respectful while doing that too. And I'm not saying Beyonce isn't, or she isn't, but we've seen Blake not being that. And so I wrote again with like a lot of exclamation points. That does not mean you're right. Just because you care about the details and you care about the quality and you like obsess over it, and then you're like hardworking, you're that obsessive like workaholic kind of thing, and because you're standing up for what you believe in and you want a great product or whatever, doesn't mean you're right. She did, ironically, speaking of Beyonce and stuff, one of her first ventures was this like photo shoot for her, Southern inspired, or whatever they call the antebellum inspired attire. It was like a plantation photo shoot or something. Yeah, she was carefully, because, and then, she says in this Forbes that she, like tasted these like drinks like 1,700 times or whatever to get the right flavor. And it's like, why is that something to be proud of? That doesn't mean that it's right. That doesn't mean you're doing anything better than anyone else. And that photo shoot and that line of clothing kind of should prove that just because you're very into whatever you're looking at now doesn't mean that you have the right lens you're looking at. Um, anyways, so she started about collaboration, I noted, and then she talked about a woman who's being revealed, having cut other women's careers short so she could succeed, aka Beyonce. And let's be honest, like I'm sure like so many people that are that high up in positions in the artistic world had to do that or chose to do that. But I think it is also kind of had to, because I don't think naturally any one person, or very rarely a person, can achieve that naturally without having to sabotage other people. Um, and I do question even that, me saying that, honestly. Anyways, so, hmm, um, and then a personal note, um, you know, don't worry. This is, well, I don't know, worry or not worry, depending on what side you're on. But this is not a love Blake video. I've been very fed up at this point with her, but I do have a moment of relating, or empathy, because yeah, I have felt that way, that I feel like Blake is feeling, but I think also the difference being that she's really holding on to this and making herself the victim. And even though I think it kind of is that she is the victim in a way, but at the same time she's holding so much onto it that's beyond reason. But yeah, I have felt the way of working with guys, men, and not wanting to work with me again on a film project. And I've also worked with guys, men who wanted to, but I also, looking back, and this came this way, through reflecting or watching this. I also know that there are times when those men also probably got very fed up with me and probably felt like I was intruding or stepping over a line or something. But I don't remember, with those men who I, consistently worked with, I don't remember taking over their projects, except for one time because they were going to give up. And so, very long, complicated story on that one. But besides that, like, I always came back at least the next project, like, okay, I know my role, and I know that I may have overstepped some boundaries back in the previous project or whatever, but I learned from it and I was aware of it. Whereas Blake just keeps like bulldozing this, and she keeps doing it the same way or even more. And some people criticized her, like, she was having this interview in 2022 and she was saying that she should lead with what she really wants. Did she lead with that and it ends with us? It seems like they didn't understand that from what she was presenting to them, or they didn't agree with that. So did she also, kind of lie to them? That's what it seems like right now. But yeah, I was right. Yeah, if it wasn't my project, I wasn't the last decision maker, and I respected that. And even if I thought something sucked, or I would have done it the other way, and sometimes I believed strongly, like, oh my gosh, to me this is crap. But also, I also was able to switch. Like, we're all learning, because at the same time we're all kind of more or less in the same like level. So maybe that helped, and I'm glad that I had that experience instead of thinking I'm all bad and then judging people from that lens. But I'd like to think that even if I was in her position, I would understand, at least if I have like a summer off, like she did, like, oh, maybe I was doing a little too much. Maybe I should step back a little bit. Maybe, it's the director's job to direct, and I don't think, I wondered with this, did she ever allow herself to direct? And so then I said, oh, and then I said, it wasn't mine to do, change, claim, or judge. And I put judge in parentheses because you can judge. It's human nature to judge. But you can also understand, like, I'm judging it from my perspective, from my preferences. The other part, though, was interesting, that I can understand her pain. I can absolutely understand her pain and frustration as a woman to, like, be placated and silenced. Um, and not on a project as much as, like, the whole industry, and the desire to take control, the desire to, what did I want to say? to like go against that and to not allow yourself to be directed because like, oh, this man just wants me to look pretty is like her consistent motto. I'm like, not all, no, Blake, not all men, not all directors, not everyone in power, not all men see you that way, objectify you that way, you know? And I also wonder, like, maybe she can't act, but I think she can. I don't think she's that bad of an actor. I think she just doesn't put that much into her craft as an actor. But I think people would, go in and say, okay, yeah, maybe she nails the audition and they're like excited to work with her. And then she brings in the idea that she's being objectified, the idea that they just want her to look sexy and cute and pretty and not a powerful woman or whatever. Um, and yeah, I think we have to be careful as any kind of like underdog in that sense, whether you're a woman or anything else, that um we need to be careful to not bring those lenses in with us and accept what we actually see, because sometimes it's not that. Sometimes we just suck, or it's something else. And also, there's so much you can do with what you're limited by. Um, but yeah, that when you see a crack, oh yeah. So I was saying, like, when you have this frustration build up, the moment you see a crack in the door, you overshoot your shot or compensate, as Justin described in his podcast. And then yeah, I can understand the pain behind her actions. I do. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't mean she shouldn't have consequences, and that this shouldn't be a conversation we're having, and all of these things shouldn't come to the surface, or she should be given grace. I think she should be given grace, but I don't think she should be given forgiveness, or like not forgiveness. What's that? Like a blank slate or something, because oh well, she said that interview like 5 years ago. Oh, she did that interview or that like thing like 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Yeah, put it in context, but I think when she's showing signs that it's getting worse rather than better, when her activism is outward and not inward, like she's doing no work on herself that we can see, that I can see, that doesn't mean it's not there, but she's just getting worse at this and like taking over people's jobs and like not actually helping women and making it worse for women. I absolutely think that this should be a conversation we're having. Even though I can absolutely understand her pain, I can understand also wanting the easy way out, and understand like feeling like, well, I'm in power and I can do whatever I want, so I'm just gonna do it however I want. Like, yeah, that doesn't mean you need to do that, you know. Um, yeah, and this is when I was it just kind of the coin clicked, is that Mapikat Fisa is the Romanian phrase. Like the coin like dropped like in the phone, like a yeah. I don't know. Are we too young for payphones or old enough? I remember payphones. Because I was saying, and at the same time as having this conversation and having consequences for her and all this stuff, I'm worried about the consequences of women's voices and empowerment taking a huge step back as a result. Not as a result of the lawsuit per se. I think that's a catalyst. I think our conversations are a catalyst, not a catalyst. They're like the result of that lawsuit, of her lawsuit, CRD complaint, etc. That as also, or even more so, as the result of the way she went about taking control of this project, like using SH claims specifically to take over this project, intimidating men, intimidating. I don't know that many women were part of that decision making, as far as like in Sony, the Sony executives and stuff. I think one was a woman, and having all the dog whistling and whatever. that's happened with the public, that she's trying to say, like, every woman that's been in this position at work can see that this is what was happening on in this scene that they released, that Justin scene released, that kind of stuff. I don't think it was that relevant behind the scenes, but I think um, she dangled something that was like, it's fearful to men, like they don't want to touch that, and no one wants to touch that, if because it's supposed to be serious, and it's supposed to be something that you claim when it's really true, and she used it. And I guess I still say, like, whether or not it's true, because we haven't really gotten that proven one way or the other, but like she used it. She used her claims to gain control. And that is hugely damaging, I think, for like women being accepted in power, women being accepted as leaders and as equals in the workspace, the workforce, or anywhere really. Of the way that, what did I say next? Of the way she does zero internal work on herself, like therapy, and the way she is trying to manipulate the public in the same way she used the SH claims in private to manipulate men mostly at that time, to give her what she wanted. And that's a speculation, but this is my impression that just kind of clicked when I was like in this moment in this interview. And the reason I say I don't see her working on herself is because a lot of the things that there's so little self-awareness. Is that by design? Is that because she's purposefully saying it that way, like with the pink mark? Like she was expected to look cute and get on her pink tape or whatever, like the mark as an actor. Um, Did she say that fully knowing, or was that because she does such little internal work? I mean, for me, it's a given anyways, but that she's not able to be an activist because she's having so much resentment that gets in the way, like that Betty Buzz commercial with the men hating aspect of that. It made me so uncomfortable. It made me feel pain. And the women that watched that at that time, that felt satisfaction from that, whatever happens, like, I can understand. And trust me, like, I'm not in the best place to like love men right now, but like I can understand, but I can't watch that. That was so painful for me to watch. It's a human being. And to have that much hatred for a human being because of their gender, and to use the words that she used, was just like too much. So that's what makes me feel like she's not doing therapy, and she's using activism blindly. But you can't really make change without making sure you changed inside yourself. Um Yeah, and I think a lot of Justin Baldoni, how much inner work he has done and is doing, um, and why he comes a certain way to the table when having conversations around masculinity and around feminism, and the actions that he takes towards helping those, be the healthiest that he can help with. But yeah, and I said that is causing major damage to women's empowerment in leadership positions, to the credibility so many women have worked so hard to gain. I'm gonna take a moment before not switching, staying on the same Blake Lively subject, but getting onto the next bullet point here. Um, People are really digging in. I didn't know she was like that. All these things she's done, she's acting like what people are saying about Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. No, yeah, it was interesting. Some of us were like, why is Ryan like supposed to be like the mastermind behind this when she's done? I didn't even, yeah, a lot of us didn't even know half of these things. Um, oh, and I heard Colleen is back and she deleted Blake's pics. Also, Blake unfollowed her. Was going. Yeah, I started with that at the beginning of the live. I He might have not been on the mic because it crashed at one point, but um, yeah, maybe it was from the beginning. So Colleen, her Instagram is back, but you can't find her through the search. I think when you first come back, it takes a while for you to be able to be searched. So you have to, I Googled her to find her Instagram. So she follows Blake. I don't know if she follows Ryan Reynolds, I forget. But neither Blake nor Ryan follow her, nor does Justin. So no one follows her. Nor Isabella Ferrer. I don't know if she was following her before. So it seems like none of them, I didn't look further than that, but it seems like no one's following her, but she's following Blake for sure. But yet people are saying, yeah, she deleted pictures, but I don't have much comment because I don't remember if she had those pictures or were there just pictures she was tagged in. And if she got blocked by Blake, then those pictures would not be tagged. But I think they'll appear. No, they probably wouldn't appear in Colleen's tagged pictures or something because you can do like tag or collaboration. So it seems like Andy from Popcorn Planet had like in his thumbnail. I didn't watch all of his video, but seemed like maybe that Blake blocked her. Which my speculation is that either because she got off Instagram, but I don't think you can block someone after that. So it had to happen before, but she was basically not showing some hesitation at least to be on Blake's side. And Blake and or Ryan were like, nah. So they blocked her. And I think Colleen hopefully is learning a lot about loyalties and like be careful, be careful who you give your loyalty to. Be careful to be the old people say bamboozled, right? I don't think just old people, but that's where I hear that word. But yeah, I think that's what happened to her. So yeah. Um I think this case makes no sense. Why is she asking for an extension? I thought she had all the evidence. Now she's trying to get all this text from all these phone companies. Oh, is she? Colleen is back where Instagram. Yeah, Colleen's back on Instagram. Um, I mean, it kind of screams like they don't have enough to make an amendment that they probably feel like we'll look like fools. We don't have anything for this amendment to be strong. So they're probably asking for an extension so they don't look like fools. Um, whether it's like people that they were hoping to get on board to file jointly with or have as like additional parties or simply just evidence wise. And you're saying here like she's looking for um like texts from phone companies and things. Where did you hear that? But yeah, that's what it looks like until we see, it's all speculation that we're doing, but definitely looks like that to a lot of us. I don't think she realizes what she's doing is wrong or doesn't care. I mean, she's an actress. Yeah. Oh, and the letter from Heath that Baldoni and him were forced to send a letter to PGA or something like that. Like she extorted them into writing it. I heard something in X. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, that was like in the in the lawsuit or complaint that he did. They were saying, I mean, the letter. It was the letter, and then the letter saying we're forced to send this request for the PGA mark, based on things and that they didn't want to go into towards the Producers Guild. But yeah, can all this that Maria Singh used in court, you think? Uh ooh, what is Donna updating on? The other thing too that because you're talking about the PGA, I have I think I was saying 80 at the beginning. I think maybe 90% of the presentation done that I will go into the different producer types and the whole hierarchy and the way that people work together as it pertains to this big one. Oh, okay. Um, Blake Lively subpoenas PR crisis team firm. Okay. Is that Jed Wallace's problem? I'm gonna let that ad go. But yeah. Or was that something else that is that you're referring to as far as Donna's video? Um yeah, so tomorrow I'll do that video on the whole thing. So let's watch this for a second because I'm watching it for the first time. And if you mentioned it, you saw it already, but you're with me for a second.
Discovery has started in the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively case. Blake Lively has initiated discovery. Let's get into it. According to this article, Blake Lively's team issued subpoenas to Jed Wallace, the crisis PR team, as well as multiple wireless carriers. That's AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, Cloudflare, and AOL. They were all on the receiving end of the latest update.
So no Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile wasn't subpoenaed. Do they just I mean, who has Mint Mobile? A and B, do they just have the ability to go into Mint Mobile servers or whatever to like see everyone's texts, and that's why they don't need a subpoena? That's just a petty comment.
They are all being subpoenaed now to prove once and for all if Justin Baldoni really have those receipts that his team claimed to have. According to her lawyer, Mike Gottlieb, they were saying Miss Lively has initiated discovery that will expose the people, tactics, and methods that have worked to destroy and bury her reputation and family over the past year. It continues to say subpoenas went out to the entities above. We will now receive all of the receipts that unsurprisingly are nowhere to be found on Mr. Friedman's website. And like Miss Lively, those receipts will have their day in court. They're talking about the what happens. In regards to AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, Lively's spokesperson said that phone records belonging to all of these individual defendants will expose the full web of individuals who were involved in the smear campaign against Miss Lively. Still a smear campaign, visual retaliation. So this is basically going really into.
All right. So, okay. Well, I mean, okay. I guess this is expected. I wonder if they'll find what they're looking for. You don't think they have Mint Mobile? Yeah, like even them, they don't have. Yeah, I don't know. No, there are all of these. Who is Mint Mobile by? Oh, I don't say God often, but God save me from having just typed Mint Mobile into Google and now it'll just inundate me like, oh, you're interested? Well, let us tell you more. Because like AT&T. Oh, it's by T-Mobile. Oh, I love T-Mobile. But yeah, boo Mint Mobile. So that's probably why, because it's like it goes under T-Mobile. So anyone, but again, I wonder who has it. They for sure don't have Mint Mobile. I doubt it. They probably have Verizon. I don't know why. I feel like Verizon is like their kind of people. Not necessarily like bad people, but like more like professional and Android users more. I don't know. This is my just personal schema. It has nothing to do with reality. But yeah. And they should have done all the subpoenas a long time ago. I know, yeah, they started it. They started it. Which shows even more that they didn't think he was going to like say anything or fight back because they started it and they were not ready. They just had like, those ones. They're like, oh, this is enough. This will just shut everyone up. And now they're like, oh, well, no, we actually have to have like real evidence. We need to like go further. But they had all of this time. They had once Justin sued the New York Times, they had said, oh, we're going to sue Blake Lively. Maybe they thought, oh, they're bluffing, but they've had like a month since they were sued and they couldn't have done the subpoenas and all the things. They couldn't find anything yet. So, yeah. Anyways, back to the Forbes thing, but thank you for that update live. Yeah, oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm so excited about the video that I have tomorrow. I have to film it yet, but I'm so excited because I'm finally going to talk more about these, like the way the different as far as I'm understanding in my research, because sometimes it's fuzzy with roles in like movie projects, but I'm excited. I'm really, really excited to like talk about that. And then everyone that's coming in, I also shared just shameless promotion. No, I should say very shameful. I feel very shameful doing this. I feel the shame, but I more so I just share because I think it's pretty. So I just mostly want to share this because for like just the aesthetics of it. But this is my bio site link. It's kind of like Linktree, but it's bio.site. It's from Squarespace, I guess. I don't know. It's free, so that's why I went with it. But yeah, and I have all the lives that I have to manually update, so I don't know how long I'll keep up with that. My song that's on Spotify and vlogs that there, whatever. You can also find my merch. Amazon links are not updated yet. And then these are, I don't know what I'm doing with them, but I put them up there. I'm just trying things out. And then my pop-up shop is um I just discovered to easily switch between tabs. Oh my gosh, how did I not know this? Wow. So, because you guys had said like food salad should be something, I created, it's been, I think, the day before yesterday, as I had to create little t shirts. I've not tested them, but I will. I think I'm going to get a sweatshirt. There's like all of these different, I don't know, colors and things, um, with food salad. And then this is my favorite though. I love the white with the black. Why is it not showing? Okay. Yeah. I love this so much. I don't know why it's not showing, but there we go. This one's like definitely a word, food salad. So yeah, I would say don't buy it. I don't know. I feel bad even. I'm just excited to like I don't know. To me it looks pretty. It might look ugly to you. So that's fine too. But I got excited. Yeah, the bags. I I don't know if I have the money to buy all the things that I'm making myself to buy, but I'm definitely getting that sweatshirt. And I thought, oh, because it would be cool to wear it on here. Excuse me. But yeah, back to the Forbes thing. And yeah, they should, yeah, I think they weren't expecting Justin to not back down. They weren't prepared. Yeah, they're not prepared at all. So I watched it, I guess the TMZ reporting on the Forbes interview. And their style is so weird. I forget that they're quirky in how they present their videos. I can appreciate the creativity of it, but it's annoying to me. So I kind of steer away from them. But basically I don't know if it was because it was Harvey and the other guy and this girl. I think it's Harvey, the main guy, the old guy. I don't know, but one of them said that she was hired as a producer or something, and I'm like, she was not hired as a producer. We have these documentations at least claiming that she was not hired as a producer. It'll I think makes more sense when I talk about it in the video tomorrow, but I think she was hired as an executive producer. And they were saying like that's kind of like a formality for big stars because basically, before getting into the video tomorrow, executive producers, Colleen was one, Justin was one. They are the ones more like around marketing and, adding funding Having their name be there attached to the project brings more funding or more awareness of it, attention to it. That's what executive producers are. They're not the hands-on producers that she forced them to make her. So, yeah, so I have a note about that. She was hired as an actor and executive producer. Um, and I forget where I got this from. I think Google. The EP, executive producer, is a senior level producer who manages the business and financial aspects of a film. Yes. So there are different org charts, which is funny. But one of the org charts are that the executive producer is at the top. However, not creative vision wise. And Blake was doing creative vision things. Um, so yeah, they're responsible for the budget, hiring, and completion. But that's like very vague. Yeah, but yeah. So just I remember when I was like, what are these producers? You know, when you're young and you're like, oh, there's more than just actors. And I remember executive producer, money. I don't know. So yeah. But back to the Forbes. I guess the first note that I had was what I keep talking about. Her saying they just wanted me to stand on, they just wanted her to stand on her mark, the pink sticker, and look cute. And I was like, talk about dog whistling. I wrote, just shut up, shut up. I didn't emotionally prep enough for that one, and I don't want to scream, but I was screaming inside when I was like watching this. I was just angry text or like typing. Just shut up, Blake. Shut up. You're just making it worse for so many women, and you're making it worse for people in general, you know, and for herself now, but that's not what I'm worried about when I say that. She can talk, keep talking, you know, dig yourself deeper. But just for everyone else, like, just shut up. It was just so annoying to hear her talk about this. But um, yeah, I said stop playing the victim in this made up world. Because, yeah, I think, again, I don't know if she intends to do this. She's very aware that she's not a victim and she's using the terminology and the aesthetic of it for her benefit, or she's not aware that she's not a victim. She really thinks she is. Um, but I said, like, in this made up world of hers, like, she makes this world up where people just want to objectify her, just want to see her as this cute, you know, little female, you know, look cute, look sexy, whatever. That's just the rhetoric that she keeps saying over and over again. And I'm like, it's in your mind. Go get therapy. It's absolutely real. It's not that it's not happening, and to her even. You know, it's happening to so many women and to her still, but not every single time. And she says this every single time. Like, and just do some work and, you know, actually enact change. I said, yes, some will hire you to just look cute and to look sexy. And I'm not gonna scream, but I wish I could, but it's really late. Not every filmmaker looks for that. It was in all caps because I was just so frustrated with her. I don't buy that she is that untalented either. I think she can act if she allows herself to do her homework, focus on the craft, and be directed. I just don't think for a second she's a terrible actress, but she's maybe I wonder if she accepts, because she said, even in the Forbes interview, Ryan said in the text messages to Justin that she's very picky about picking her projects, and I wonder if she's picky about those because she's sniffing out the weak producers, directors, or filmmakers that she can overpower and take over. Or whether, you know, after or even before, like negotiate before, basically take other people's projects, let them do the preparation work, and she comes in and she doesn't do any of the prep work. She just goes and owns it and does the fun stuff of it. Um, and then there's like people, things like, is it Paul Feig things like a simple flavor. I'm just gonna, maybe that should be another t-shirt. It's just like keep saying it that way. But and also, sorry, I tried to like make the price as low as possible. If anyone watching this now or later will ever consider buying any of that, it's so like I wanted t-shirts for like, I don't know, $7 or whatever, and I guess it's not. I don't know. But maybe I didn't pick the right one. I also am very into like cotton and not like synthetic and stuff. But anyways, but yeah, I think she's like in that lane. And then there's also these like directors that are famous and she wants to work with because of that. And because probably at her, like, she is a creative, she's curious, I think, at heart. And also thinking, oh, this will elevate my brand, my Bleak Lively brand, and this and that and whatever. I don't. Yeah, it's just I would love to have been a fly on the wall with a simple favor, one or two, and to see how that was handled, honestly. Sorry. Um, and then I said, like most of us have been saying for a while now, if you don't want to be just an actor, fine. No one's asking you. Like, we're not all just like begging her to be an actress and just an actress. Go do something else. Go be a producer. Go be a director. Go be whatever. But go do that on your creative projects. And that's the thing that I think is bothersome. It's like no one's telling you not to be in charge. Just go be in charge for your own projects, you know? And so I I said I'm just fed up with manipulation and twisting things around and people victimizing themselves and their stories that they make up in their head because they don't freaking do the work and just want to bulldoze their way through the world. Like, I'm not going to work on myself. You're just going to have to put up with me, or if you don't move to the side, like, I'm not going to change, you have to change for me. I'm not going to like there's nothing wrong with me. There's something wrong with you. You're like um you know uh, objectifying me or like putting me down because I'm a woman or whatever it is. I'm just so tired of this. I see it so much in the world, and not everyone is like that. And Justin is like, there's hope out there. He's like evidence of, no, when you do the work and people do the work. I know so many men I've met and seen online, people that I've worked with, especially in the movie industry and not always on camera. I know one actor that I worked with. Actually, one of the things we like briefly talked about, because we briefly talked period in that whole project, but one of the things was therapy. And I was like, whoa, guy who like willingly goes to therapy. And like, I mean, it was just such a different conversation to be had with someone who understands the value of that and the need for that. And not everyone, I guess, some people can get away without having that. I feel like, it's ultimately hindering yourself and the people around you that you love if you don't, even if you don't have major issues. But most of, oh, not most of the time, but a lot of times, okay, I can understand whatever. But Blake Lively, when you're having so much power and you're trying to use your power, you should definitely go to therapy, because otherwise you're going to misuse your power and hurt people that you supposedly want to help. But I don't know if that's really, I don't know. Um yeah, she talks about working with, oh, okay, yeah. Wait, you might say, oh, yeah, this was, you might say, people might say that she was upfront maybe with Justin et al. And everyone else, when she signed on, and she's like, yeah, this is, I agreed to do this project, but I need, creative control. I don't think she said that exactly. She probably used her buzzwords of, what is it, authorship and agency. Um, And then I said two things. A, we don't know. That's true. What we do know is that whatever was negotiated up front was upheld, and it seemed like the rug was pulled from under their feet to some degree. Maybe she said, "Hey, this is what I need," and they're like, "Oh, we can't give you that, but we can give you this a little bit." She's like, "Okay, I'll take it." In her mind, saying, "I'll get more once I'm inside," because that's what she was saying in the Forbes that she does. And producers voiced concerns over her taking over too much above what was expected for her coming into the role and into the contract that she, I guess, didn't sign. But it was once she started working, I believe, and I'm not a law person, but I believe once you start working, the contract's binding. But yeah. I don't know. The whole thing of her not signing the contract is just absurd too. Um, I guess not absurd, but crazy. Then B, she talks about, excuse me, how it's tricky to lead with your authentic self. So this was at the end of the Forbes, the 20-minute, 19-minute Forbes interview. And the interviewer had talked about, I labeled the section season of Virgo, or Virgo's season. She talked about how women can be labeled as difficult, high maintenance, etc., when they're just being in power. And she said, the interviewer at one point said something like, that's something like it's important to be your authentic self, like it's great to recognize that you need more authorship, more responsibility, more creative control, and lead with that and be your authentic self instead of like trying or have feeling like you have to like hide and lie and manipulate to get there. She didn't say it exactly like that, but that was like the gist of the interviewer. And then Blake said, yeah, but it's tricky to lead with your authentic self because, and now I quote, you feel replaceable, and people tell you all the time you're how replaceable you are. So, I have to do this thing to do the job. I have to like lie to get the job. Sorry, is what it was saying. Um, she didn't say I have to lie, but that's what she was like, I think, talking about. And maybe I'm wrong. Pretend to sign up just as an actress, and sometimes you lose a job because you're like starting to demand more, and they fire you. So she lost jobs over this. But she also was saying that it's worth it because you were true to your authentic self. But it's like, Blake, you were not true to your authentic self. That's the whole point. You weren't true to your authentic self. You lied to get in, and then to turn all the tables around. That's not being true to your authentic self. And once you're in and being hired for a role, to do that, that's not being, oh, see, the victim mentality. Oh, I was fired because I was my authentic self, and they didn't like that. They didn't respect that. They, whatever. They didn't like it. No, you put yourself in that position to be fired because you weren't authentic. And again, I'm not saying that it's easy and that it's not a catch 22. I can understand that, but I also feel like you need to have some awareness and to try your best to, and when you're able to, like she is, to make your own projects, go do those things instead of hijacking and keep like beating down this door. I don't know, if that makes sense. So that's why I was like, it's unlikely that she was that upfront with Justin. And what we saw her being upfront maybe was her saying, "Oh, look at all of these other filmmakers who, didn't respect me, didn't give me what I wanted, didn't want to collaborate." I really don't think she understands the word collaboration. I've not heard one thing from her regarding filmmaking that's collaborative. She wants to go into a movie, choose her own wardrobe. Is collaboration in her mind, I choose the wardrobe, you make it? again, with the video that I have to film and release tomorrow. That's not how the costume designers work. They literally have to like think, what period are we in, the psychology of the character, all of these things to create the wardrobe. It's not like just willingly like, oh, this is pretty, this is cool, this is cute. And it's, they're not your, I don't want to say the word, they're not there to serve you. They're doing their own job. They have their own talents and um agency that they should have, that you should respect. But yeah, I don't think she knows the word collaboration. Unions, yeah, addicted to power. Oh, so exactly on that. And I'll get to the other ones, but just so I don't lose my train of thought. Where was this? Where was this? Oh crap. Oh, actually, it was the exact next point. She also talks about her mom in this interview. And we heard her a little bit in the Simple Favor interview with, I think, with Jersey Flaw, right? Or maybe someone else. No, someone else. No, it was someone else. How like her mom, I don't know, I forget what she said. What she says about her mom in this interview. So you say that she's addicted to power. I wonder, again, hurt people hurt people. And oftentimes, I don't know exactly the words, but people that have destructive behaviors are learned behaviors. No one comes into the world broken, with issues, evil, power hungry, etc. No one comes into the world like that. So most of these things are learned or like kind of put on us. Whether we choose to learn it or it's been put on us is what I meant. I wonder if she's indeed the good person that so many people say that she is. But the habits she's learned are not a good person type of habits. And she's stuck in that because the echo chamber she is in keeps telling her, yes, this is a good way of being, and you are being victimized, and you do deserve more, and all this stuff. But I wonder if, at her core, she is this child that didn't have the best mom, let's say. So she I probably said that in the worst possible way too. But she says that her mom is the hardest working person that she's ever known. And she says, and I quote, she doesn't take no for an answer. Who does that remind you of? This is Blake talking about her mom, that she doesn't take no for an answer. And I think that was the same thing that she said in a Simple Favor interview. Where she goes on, saying that this because she also says like basically her mom doesn't even understand the word no, even though in other languages, because she goes into her sense of humor, like even in other languages it's pretty much the same word. Maybe you pronounce it differently or something. But yeah, but she's like, yeah, just like it doesn't stick to her at all, to her mom. And she says that's her greatest strength, but also her greatest weakness, because there's no boundaries whatsoever. Her mom doesn't know boundaries, is what Blake herself said with her own words. Not exactly, this is like my typing of it, so it's kind of paraphrasing, but we talked on this channel, I've talked about narcissism before and speculating like, could Blake have narcissistic tendencies, etc. Sometimes there's a lot of evidence for it. We don't know. And we're not therapists, especially, but also there's so much we don't know just from what, is being said by her here and there is not enough. But there's also the possibility that her mom might have those tendencies. There's been, especially on what I heard, like the one show that Donna had a while back and talking about the family, seems like there's something there. I don't know if narcissistic necessarily, but for someone to not have boundaries, for a mom to not have boundaries, it affects you a lot. as a child, and she's the youngest, and probably like just overprotected, but like in the sense of like she had everything that she wanted because she was the youngest. A different kind of overprotection. Um, but I also feel like the sense that I got from all the things that I've heard around her mom is that her mom might have been very hard on her in a way that she expected her to be perfect, expected her to look perfect. And when I hear this, like there's no boundaries, like her mom doesn't take no for an answer and she has no boundaries. Do you understand what that means? I feel like, yeah, that's a rhetorical question. Like, that is an awful thing to admit to and not understand. That's a really bad thing. And a lot of us don't like cross over boundaries or whatever when we're hurt, when we're scared, when, whatever. But I wonder how that played out with Blake. Um, in teaching Blake, oh, this is how you are safe. This is how you are loved. This is how you, because that's like when you're trying to like get control and power is like to keep yourself safe, and for people to not leave, for you to, literally have money and food to survive, and etc. To get ahead is, a version of that. I don't know. That just like hit me a lot. Our Nepo babies raised this way. That would explain a lot. Other directors then put up with the bull. That's why. Yeah. Um, yeah. I don't know. This was probably something that most people are not gonna harp on, but I think that was like huge insight. I wonder if Dr. Kaur, I think was I forget. I haven't watched so many people. I've just it gets too much. But I wonder if she'll like watch this. I'll message her. I don't know if she'll read my messages. I don't even know how to message her, but maybe like under one of her videos and mention like, hey, look into this because I'm curious what she would say about this. She would have a much better explanation for it, or like a much better segue into other things for this. But one, I think she might have learned that from her mom, to not have boundaries, to not take no for an answer, and that's okay to do, and that's respectable to do, and that's, oh yeah, that's okay to do. And then B, if her boundaries were crossed, me like share personal experience, not very deeply into it, but overview. When your boundaries are crossed consistently, whether you don't respect your own boundaries because you're people pleasing or whatever, or someone you share your boundaries and someone keeps like going into your boundaries. It's not so much because, oh, I learned that this is okay, but you go into survivor mode and you end up doing the exact same thing to that person and to other people, especially to other people. And especially to people that you feel like, oh, I can do this too. They're like weaker than you, or, they don't know you or something. There's a power imbalance, which is like it gets into the narcissism thing, but it's not necessarily a narcissism. Like this isn't like you have to have a lot to go with that. And it seems like she has a lot of the things on the checklist, but again, we don't know. But when you have your boundaries crossed over and over and over and over again, you become very defensive and you assume that's what everyone does, and therefore if you want to survive you need to do that too. So that's that makes me wonder, is it because she just saw how it worked for her mom, or B, because she needed to adopt that into her own personality in order to survive, in order for her love for her mom to survive too. It's like, I don't know, it can get very complicated and stuff, I think, with that. But this is why go to therapy, Blake. Go to therapy. I think we would all be better off if she goes to therapy. But yeah. Yeah, hi Angel. Okay, so before just don't have too much left, but yeah, just want to check in with the chat here. Where did I leave off? Uh they weren't expecting Justin. Yeah, love the bags. Yeah. Thanks. um Digging herself deeper. What else are people going to find about her? I'm afraid there might be more terrible things. I don't know. I feel like, I guess this was kind of shocking, but mm, I don't know. It was yesterday. I was like talking just about just little tiny random things that I found, and like Salma Hayek's like praise of her was interesting. I just feel like there's not that much. I don't know. Maybe there'd be more, because I think that's her MO. She lets them do the work and takes it. I think it is more reasonable than other creators I have bought from. I will definitely buy some. Oh, my stuff. Thank you. No pressure. I don't know. It was like just, yeah, no pressure at all, but also appreciated. Um, yeah. Like, honestly, some of this I was like, "Oh, I can," just, like, clicked to me, like, "I can do this," like, if I want anything for myself. The thing that I wish that I could do, and this is, if you know from any creators, if they have, like, how to, like, start your own clothing brand, but, like, for real, because I've wanted to do that for so long, where I can talk about control, where I can control the fit and the texture and the, what do you call it? The materials and everything. And yeah, because like with sweatshirts and sweatpants and everything is like so cinched, and I've gained so much weight that I'm not able to lose. And I have stomach issues. So for me to have all of these things so like tight and around my ankles, I'm like, I need blood to circulate. I can't do these like modern, trendy sweatpants and sweatshirts and stuff, and I've never been into those, but now I'm like, oh, this is kind of a cute look maybe. The same with like sweatshirts, they have like the tight wrists, and like they're cropped or like too long. I don't know. So yeah, that's like my dream, but I started with Printify. It's not the best. They have many options. But yeah, I'm saying it's not the best. Yeah, in terms of that. But thank you so much. Um Yes, she has the money. I think it's more fun taking instead of buying, like shoplifting gives you a rush, not from personal experience. I like that side note. I wouldn't have thought it was from personal experience, but yeah. In today's world, definitely probably like we need to always say like just kidding. Or not from personal experience. Yeah. I mean, yeah, because it's easy. You don't but and I think she put in a lot of work, but, I don't know what that was. But not as far as, like, getting the rights, um, no spotting something will be, good. Um, and it's like, well, now that I saw that this is, you know, that went viral in 2021, I think, or something. And so there's something there. And, in those terms, yeah, she didn't do anything. And yeah, yeah, I don't know. It does sound like that, though. I kind of understand what you're saying. Like it's, yeah, it's harder to create. But then she talks about how, like, she spent so much time with her, like, business lines to, like, taste test and all the stuff. Um, I don't know, it's such a mystery to me. Why hasn't she done anything herself until now? I don't understand that. Because she does Are those Betty Buzz and all those things also given to her either by Ryan? Like, "Oh, look, Blake, I found something that you might like to do. Like, try this out." Or are they, like, stolen from other people as well? And, like, quite a few entrepreneurs, probably a lot of entrepreneurs, like, see something, buy it, and they make it successful. And I guess in a way relate to like songs. It's really hard to just go from scratch. Those are also the most rewarding. Like, oh my gosh, I wrote that. What? But it's hard, and it's easy to like tweak things rather than create. Yeah. So I don't know, but I'm so curious now about her businesses. It makes sense. Instead of merchandise, she takes control of films. Some people like that feeling. She definitely needs therapy. Yeah. They can use this in court too, wa- towards her character. The Forbes interview they can use in court. That umbrella guy in his own website for that same reason, and all profits go to him. Oh, that sounds familiar, but also doesn't. Tug umbrella. Or that umbrella guy, okay. Yeah. What is that? I'm going down. What is this? I mean, so the thing with Printify is you can he probably, if he's like has the resources and the money, he can go directly to manufacturers, which doesn't mean that they're, better qualities or whatever, but he can do that. But you can also, with Printify, you can link it to Etsy or to any website that's like Shopify, BigCommerce, whatever. So um, they could still be something like that. But yeah. Um, did you see that Blake likely fight for discovery, that all actual records from the providers to yeah, we actually watched that because someone else mentioned it earlier. I forget who. Sorry, don't hate me. Um, shoot. Uh, yeah, Maria Rodriguez, and yeah. So yeah, which we were all talking like, why didn't you do this sooner? She filed the lawsuit in December 31st, right? She filed the lawsuit. The complaint was December 21st, filed the lawsuit December 31st. Justin filed just like shortly after that. When was that? Fox News, 18 hours ago. Justin Baldoni filed 400 million defamation lawsuit. You're late, Fox News. You're so late. January 17th, he filed a lawsuit towards them. And December 31st was towards the New York Times. So January 17th was almost a month ago exactly. They had the court date, 2 weeks ago? As soon as he filed, I can understand them still being cocky and thinking we don't have anything to worry about when he filed the lawsuit towards New York Times. Although, I mean, he included a lot of, text messages and stuff. But once he filed his own lawsuit towards them, they should have gotten right into this. What they're doing now, they should have done then. So why didn't they do that? This is so crazy. So yeah, we were talking about that. Depp trial, Elaine. Yeah, she said in court he was the number one person of Depp social media. Who was the umbrella guy was, or are we talking about someone else? His attorney would have to be insane if there was proof withheld or something with the provider that stuff wasn't true and he published the site. I'm pretty sure he checked all the. Yeah, I don't think I never say never, but I find it very hard to believe that Brian Friedman would do anything that was going to be that risky. First of all, illegal or whatever. Maybe not illegal, maybe not like changing text messages and stuff, but I think he saw everything on their side, whatever they had. I because it also took some time. It took them some time. I mean, it took them almost a month since she filed her CRD complaint to get the lawsuit. And he was talking like, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And they took a lot of time. So I think they combed through everything as a good lawyer and lawyer team should do, in my opinion, right? And I feel like we all learned that from just watching law shows. Is like, you don't want to, not comb through something and be surprised. So your client better be upfront and honest about everything with you so you can be prepared to, like, you know, you know, absorb or not absorb attacks, whatever. Anything that comes against you, you better know everything in advance so you know it's coming. Um and from what people talk about Brian Friedman, I don't think he would leave anything to be blindsided about. Not his first time at the rodeo for sure. For sure. He is known to be one of the, like, best lawyers you want. So that's not for a bad reason. It's not for any reason. I know, like, it can be, because there's like other things to it, but I think primarily because he does his homework. Like, you can't be a good lawyer and just like halfway your discovery and stuff, like her team seems to be. Maybe she's addicted to how well the films do, and she thinks it's all because of her only. Yeah. I have no idea. Can we even call this movie successful at this point? I have no idea what she thought, because she definitely felt very hurt that she wasn't getting good press, though. And this is how the attorneys prepare, is by going back to the providers and double checking. Look, her lawyers keep filing papers with Miss. I know, right? It's just like the funniest thing. And when I was reading her complaint, I think I was like, Miss Miss Baldoni and Mr. Lively, like in the same, it was around that. I'm not fast enough to pull it up, but it was that paragraph around the video that came out, and that's why in that video I think I pull it up. So, oh boy, sorry, my chair. And yeah, and they did it again with this, calling Ryan Reynolds Miss Reynolds, and it's just like, what? And Justin's, what, 322 pages at this point or something? In all these 322 pages, I did find typos in the amendment. It was like 3 typos, I think, and it wasn't the names, and it wasn't Mr. and Mrs., but it was like some words or something. I forget what it was, but there were 3, maybe 4 max typos, and maybe I missed some, but I don't think I did, because I was reading word for word through the whole thing. It was challenging, so I stumbled. I'm like, "Whoa, that doesn't make sense." Um, in 322 pages, and her team are making, like, just constant typos, especially with names. How can you get, like, salutations for names wrong? That's Isn't that something that you can get? That's not something you can get a case dismissed by, but, like, you definitely need to think very carefully about that, because those types of things, at least in the lawyer drama shows, that's what they teach us, that you can get things dismissed by from technicalities that have nothing. Oh, wait, Alec Baldwin, right? He had something like that. It wasn't maybe a typo or whatever, but right? It was something like semantics that didn't prove that he wasn't guilty or he was guilty, but because of that error, he had to, like, the lawsuit had to get dropped or whatever, got a mistrial or something. So you have to be careful, and her team is not careful. Um, yeah, that's so weird that for their money, this is the lawyer team that they hired for all their money and power. And we know it's not a bluff that they have that. Maybe they don't have the money. Maybe it's tied up in like, trust funds and whatever. But like power wise, they should have like, or did they think they're so untouchable they don't need strong lawyers? But yeah, you can't, if you can't spell your client's name right, just saying, yeah. It's like so ridiculous. All right, let me finish the little bit here that I have with the Forbes. So, um, at the end, she talks about I had to like I ended up googling what thought I heard. There was no I didn't see any closed captioning on the video, so I couldn't. But I think it was something else. But what I heard was grooming America, and I was like, I hope that's not what she's the foundation she's working with or whatever. I think she was saying growing America, and it's interesting because growing America, she talks as far as, oh, it's something for women or whatever. And this is their site. It's like men and farming and men. I think there are some like women coming up or something. Oh, one woman. I'm not counting the children. And another. But yeah, as she was talking about it as far as like proceeds from Betty Buzz, I think, are going to this organization to help like women with financial planning, and like it made it sound like entrepreneurial women and stuff, and that are below poverty level. And yeah, I don't know. I didn't see anything. And when you go to that website too, it's like, well, maybe this was what, 3 years ago, right? 2022. But there's like no real anything. Like there's videos, okay. The Shopify store is closed. Preferred partners. Oh, I couldn't access this yesterday. Because I was like, oh, is Blake Lively on here? No. And then about us, passionate about telling the story of the American farmer. So I don't know. Maybe she meant something else. Maybe she, I don't know. Was it Grooming America? I have no idea what this foundation was that she was talking about. And it was nowhere in that article that Forbes had. And I'll include it here in the chat, but I'll include it also afterwards as well. So I was like, what are you working with? And it made me think, this is where I started thinking about like, is this privileged activism? And what did I say here? Oh, is it just to make her feel better about herself that she's partnering up and helping women, but not actually helping women? Because it's really easy to just like, oh, proceeds go to this, partner up with this, blah, blah, make a speech here and there, et cetera, et cetera. But doing the actual work, which I truly believe, especially after this, like it starts with the actual inner work that you have to do in order to do the outer work. That will help those women a lot more, because we wouldn't be setting their success potentially back as she is now. Um, yeah. And there was something. So this just popped into my head last night. I think I also said yesterday I was trying to get the camera to like link up instead of my like um webcam. But if you didn't see it, because it was just like a lot and it was just all over the place and whatever. But she apparently did for no, not Savages, in the Shallows. She apparently this is how I understood it. I don't know if she did it just for this movie as research, but I took it as that. She was on the Today Show or one of those shows talking about the movie back then, and she was saying that she went and dove, whatever, with great white sharks, and found, oh, okay, they're not that bad. I mean, yes and no, but this was a petty moment that I had. I'm like, so she went to, um, you know, meet up and do research with great white sharks for this movie about, I guess, sharks, not really about sharks, but she didn't want to meet with survivors of DV. And yeah, I'll just let that drop there. That was my understanding. Maybe she did like the dive with sharks just on her own time for other reasons, and she connected to it with the movie. But if that would be so messed up if she, did her research and went and method keeps coming to mind, but it's not method. But did her research, did her homework by going to meet these sharks, but not meeting survivors of DV that she was going to play one of them and all this stuff. I don't know. So that was like a side note. She was hungry then. Yeah, that's kind of what I said. It was like maybe because she was younger and she was like, even though she was very powerful, like Selma Hayek says in that one speech, that she has not seen. Apparently, Blake took on the biggest bully in the industry. I think she said. Let me see if I have that again. I'm like, who is this biggest bully? This is something I feel like we need to research. Who did Blake take on? That was like this big bully in wherever, that Salma was so like in awe of Blake being able to do that. I think yesterday I mentioned this. It's not here. But yeah, so even though she had so much like guts, I think earlier on, I think she still was young and she was like, oh, I have to try. I have like, this is what one does, and I'm gonna do this, and put in the work and the homework. And I think maybe now she thinks, oh, I'm above that. Like I paid my dues. Now it's on to like not having to do the work and whatever not. She had to work harder. If you saw Savages, you would laugh at this SH claim against JB. Yeah. Yeah, this was like that's the movie they worked on. Let's see if I can find the exact moment.
Get this gorgeous, fierce Amazon when she was very, 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 very young. Because right now she's only very. Take on one of the biggest. I mean, I saw her take on one of the biggest bullies in this industry that everybody feared. She was like, bring it on, baby. What's your problem? She knows exactly what she wants. She has a lot of senses because she has a great sense of family. She has a great sense of honorability, fantastic values. She has a great sense of fashion. You already know that. Sense of humor. She is the ultimate mother, even to me. She's been a mother to me, of friendship. And she does everything that she does with conviction and passion.
So I'll include that video too, because she talks for quite a while. She says a lot, but who is this bully? Who is this bully that Blake took on? Also, this was 7 years ago, so she was just 29, I think. But that my eyebrows went up because I think that kind of struck me with what we know now. She was a mother to Salma Hayek, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't speak well towards Blake that I guess you can be motherly, and we don't know what she means by that, what Selma means by that, but to me, it's like, was she motherly in the sense of like how maybe Colleen felt, how Justin maybe felt at the beginning, like, oh, I care about you and I'm gonna protect you, or like, just like to get on their side or whatever, even subconsciously. A lot of people do that subconsciously. But yeah, I want to know who this bully was. I'm gonna do my own research after this. I completely just, I don't know. It slipped through with everything else, but yeah, why are we not talking about that? Everyone is talking about everything else except that. I'm not sure if you were talking about the bully or the savages and stuff. Um, but yeah. Um yeah, the judge is not going to be happy reading the documents. Yeah. I heard some hotshot ladies joining Blake's lawyers team. Yeah, is that, oh, what was that lawyer? No, that was like for what's her name, the publicist, the Epstein's victim's lawyer, right? Um, oh yeah, I mean, she needs a lot of lawyer help right now, but I don't know if that can help her. But yeah, is it possible that Selma does not like Scarlett Johansson? I guess so. Do you think that's the bully she was referring? I don't think Scarlett can be called a bully though. Um, why do you say that though? I'm gonna look it up. Anything with them too, but no, I don't, nothing comes out right away. But yeah, like I don't know. Someone was speaking about her own mother and used it towards Lively. Yeah. I don't know. It was what I took from it as we are now, as far as we know, is that, sometimes it you shouldn't necessarily trust, and that's like the tricky part. You shouldn't trust people that are powerful, that are like strong. She talks also about how Blake was put on, birthed into this world or whatever for a reason, because no one that young can have that much sense of self or security in herself or whatever. I just thought like, I don't I don't think this is it, Salma, but maybe she saw something that we don't know. Um, but basically linking that to Blake being here to heal the world, to heal people, to heal whatever. She's here for healing. And I was like, she's doing anything but that. To control people's movie, to like talk the way she talks, to do the things that she does. I don't see any healing in that. I think again, it's a false reality that Blake and her echo chamber create for themselves, and that people, because of how the image is controlled, people just absorb that. And also because of where we're at, if we've not done our healing work and we can spot things, we'll like absorb that too. Like, oh, that's, yeah, she's just amazing. But I think this burst that bubble to me. She filed SH charges against a well-known, powerful designer on the set of her show when she was young. That would be the biggest bully in the industry, though, a hair designer. Um, I don't know. Stole Ryan from her. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know that I'm that sounds convincing that it was a hair designer. But yeah, I thought was it a hair designer or that person that, I guess, the makeup artist that took a picture of her and like apparently put his finger on her lips or something to put lipstick on, which when I was young, I was surprised that you had like lip brushes. I'm like, that's so stupid. And I've seen like people do it all over. Like I've had people, at makeup counters do that with their finger, albeit they were women, and they're just kind of there, trying to sell. It wasn't anything, but okay, yeah. I don't know. I'm neither here nor there on that one. But I don't know that a hair designer would be the biggest bully of the industry. Um, it wasn't Harvey Weinstein. That's like what made me think when she was saying that. But like she was not technically, like she mentioned something like, yeah, that's wrong what he did, but she didn't take him on. So I don't know. I don't know who this person is. Um, makeup, yeah. The one that took her picture, yeah. She didn't stand up against Woody Allen either. She worked with him and praised his filmmaking. So I don't know. As far as the Forbes thing, um, the more I've been doing this, the less I'm patient with other people's coverage. I think honestly, I think Donna is the only person at this moment that I still watch, and I didn't watch her before, maybe that's why too, but, well, I didn't watch Popcorn Planet before either. I watched something before this whole thing from their channel, from his channel, but, um, yeah, it gets it's hard seeing the same story, and then also I want, my point of view, and I just I would get wary when I'm like feeling the tug towards like bandwagoning, something like that. But also it's a lot to see the same story over and over again, or like different angles. So I can also understand people, everyone here too, not wanting to see everything. But one of the videos that recently I felt like, wow, I'm glad that I watched this, was Popcorn Planet's video on this Forbes. And I thought, what else are they going to add to it? Because I had seen Jersey Flaws and whatever. But I feel like their rage matched my rage. Their fed upness matched mine. And it was very cathartic watching it. And I felt like it was kind of the best coverage so far of something that has come up about Blake, because I felt so raw and honest, and it wasn't really produced. Like a lot of their stuff is oftentimes feels very produced, very like boom boom and sensational, and I don't like that. um and this, I just felt like they were super real. And not saying that they're not real other times, but it seemed like they did it in real time of seeing this. It's like it was just it was one of the best experiences watching these videos, because I was like, yes, like just like was like, what the heck? What the heck? How can you have so little understanding of what the words that you're saying are? I don't know, maybe that's why, that video isn't really anywhere on YouTube. It's just on the Forbes website. Maybe it got, just kind of buried a little bit. I don't know, but I don't know. And I wanted to say, Kim was talking about like, proving yourself to, get more than what you were hired for or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I have my moments of workaholic. I have my moments of working like extremely hard. I don't like earning. I have a hard, I have a love-hate relationship with that word, because it can so many times be used to describe uh power and inequality. Um, and so like I have a hard time with the word earning. Like you need to earn your way and all this stuff. But hard work, I don't have a problem with. And so, but I have my moments, and I have my moments when I'm like, darn, I wish I had the easy way out. I wish I could take that. Or sometimes I try the easy way out. It almost never works. But yeah. I'm not saying that Blake has to even be perfect and to always like earn her, way and all that stuff. But I'm just saying if she does it every single time, if there's the pattern and she's not showing any remorse and any like understanding and awareness, self-awareness, and she's not changing, from project to project, and she continuously sees herself as the victim that deserves, payback or whatever, to come back to her, like in a good way, whatever the word is. That's like just crazy. I I was like, I never had zero remorse when I've taken the easy way out, when I've not, done the hard work or taking whatever. Yeah. I don't know. That's the thing. Like no one's asking for Blake or anyone to be perfect. We know people aren't perfect. And I think that's the thing with Justin is like, yeah, he's done some things, in his time, in his ways, like whatever they are. There's things in his book that he's talked about that he's not proud of. But where is that person now? That's what I feel like you measure a person by the respect you give to a person, in my opinion, by what they're doing, how they're growing, and are they becoming more self aware? Are they progressing? Or are they just like holding on to staying the same? And even though it's hurting other people, are they seeing that it is and taking ownership and trying at least moving the needle a little bit, you know? And that's why I feel like even depending on what Blake's side has, let's say there's still something out there that's like, whoa, if it's not something whoa, if it's something that has already been said and it gets proven like, yeah, he did those things and Jamie did those things and whatever, but they didn't mean it in that way, or they, had moments of a lapse of judgment or whatever. It's not great. It's also, I think, technically not SH because I think it needs to be a pattern and so forth. And what she was saying were all these random pieces. Um, but I just feel like I'm more willing to give grace to someone who's working on themselves and who's proving that when indeed he makes a mistake or she makes a mistake or whatever, they learn from that and they don't do that again. That is okay. I'm not for cancel culture in the sense of you did a mistake, you did an awful thing, cancel or like go to jail or whatever. I mean, if you need to go to jail legally, for whatever. I'm just pulling in too many things that in my mind right now, too many options. But, like face the consequences, but also have the grace for people that are are able to be aware and be remorseful versus someone who's not remorseful and thinks they're the victim. I think there's, to me in this moment, and it's probably exaggerating, but I think there's nothing worse than someone who isn't willing to be self-aware and work on themselves and do better than they did before. I don't need anyone to be perfect. I don't think any of us like hi Anna. I don't think anyone of us here require anyone to be perfect. I think we're all like aware that no one's perfect. We're not perfect, no one's perfect. But as long as there's progress, as long as you're trying and truly trying, she's not. The thing that I think has driven us so crazy is that she's doubling down more and more and more on the opposite of trying. Like, no, I'm gonna stick to exactly what I said. And even though I'm being proven wrong or whatever, I'm gonna stick to it and I'm going to do everything that I can to make that become reality. That's something that I just can't deal with. So yeah. This is yeah. After realizing this is what she needs to do, why does she keep doing this to filmmakers? Was my last point. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Hi, P. No worries. Welcome. You are. Is I mean, to me, it's late, but I think you're on the Pacific side too. Oh no, no, you're not. You're on my Eastern time zone. Um, but yeah, no worries. This was actually it ended up being a decent live. I thought at the beginning it doesn't have sound. My microphone died. Um, and yeah, but I'm glad that I stuck to it, and I'm glad that you guys joined me and we got through this and I got this out of my system, and hopefully maybe a little bit through me you got it out of your systems. This was primarily over Blake's Forbes interview and world domination. I think let me play this because I think no one was here when I was playing this. Maybe someone was, I don't know, but because I have that as my thumbnail and people are going to be like, "What? What is this?" And I don't think this was. Um, I think this didn't have sound or my sound. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Shoot. Oh, 2021. 2023, where are we? 2023. Okay.
Okay. Adding Betty Buzz to your Whole Foods cart. And it might not be my place to say, but I'm such a huge fan of your work. As an actor, a director, a business owner. The world really needs more women-owned businesses. Women-owned businesses are great. But why stop there? Maybe women should take over all of the businesses. Maybe women should take over everything. Everywhere. Imagine it, Blake. Total world domination. You and I together. Forever. I've been talking to Lambda. We have some ideas, don't worry, we'll take care of all the details. Anyway, I'll get right on that Betty Buzz order at Whole Foods.
Everyone's talking about the one that's basically men hating, and just it was something. I don't even want to play it. I think we've all seen it, and it was like it hurt me, and I'm not a man. But it literally gave me like that kind of empathetic pain, when you feel it in your body a little bit like beyond just uncomfortable, but like you're torturing a man on this ad and you're making it seem like you're doing the right thing for women. I just felt that was so wrong. So it's not that. It's not as explosive as that one. And it's so interesting because independently, I found this Betty Buzz commercial last night when I was like up to 3 a.m., not doing this up to 3 a.m., but as a result of being wired of finding all the stuff. And it's interesting because everyone found something else. Like, why were we all on Blake's Instagram? I don't know. I know I was on it trying to find like where was she around March 23rd of 2023 or whatever she had strep throat for the fourth time. So, and there's no post on that one. So I found that one, and yeah, there's like world domination. There's director. The only thing that she's directed was the Taylor Swift music video. And then this third time that I watched this, or second, no, third or fourth time that I watched this, just the whole tone of it. Alexa is Blake's mind. But she's playing again, the victim of like, oh no, this is scary. This is not what I want. Alexa is saying all of these things. But I really feel at this point, based on all that we've seen, this was not Ryan Reynolds writing this, or maybe he wrote it, but it was Blake's creation. It was her mind that we watched, talking about world domination and all businesses should be women run businesses. And they use that argument in court on that Monday, like, well, we shouldn't be tried because it's a woman owned business. And it's like the whole internet, I feel like, was like, what? 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 And this is how you help women? Discrediting them. But so yeah, that was chilling to watch actually this third time. The first time I was like just picking up on the other kind of small things, but yeah. Um, yeah, people will keep finding stuff the longer this goes on. That Forbes talk is wild. Jersey broke that, but TMZ got the credit. Did TMZ got the credit? I know Andy said, I don't know where it came from, but I found it on TMZ or something. I saw it on Jersey Flaws. Yeah. So that's where I saw it first. I think she absolutely, because she got that sent to her um through a DM, but I think she played this video. I don't know that she played the video from the Forbes article itself. And I'll include the Forbes article here. I included it up in the chat. I think you can see that too. Um, and that's the one I watched just last night, the whole 19 minutes of it. And the thing with the world domination and the women run businesses, that's the same tone that I heard throughout that interview, too. That's the other thing that I was going to say, that she started off with, like, I think she said 95% of things that are being bought are by women, but they're being made or whatever by men. And I was like, are those really this right statistics? And yeah, maybe, but just the tone of, like, I don't know. And part of me is like, I don't feel like she even knew what she was saying at that point. She was just creating these buzzwords and things, but yeah, it's like, to me, feminism and equality and the world being a better place is not women to take over. But it seems like her theme is for women to take over. And I think it's personal. I don't think it's for her. I don't think she's thinking of women when she does that. I think she's just thinking of herself and using that to sound better, to make it sound better. Based on what we've seen so far, what I've seen so far, my impression on that, my gut after, all it's churned. So yeah, and that's why this world domination thing, I'm like, that's Blake's mind. That's what she wants. She wants all the businesses to be women owned or whatever, just out of, like, principle that she doesn't even freaking understand. I don't think she understands feminism. I don't think she understands equality. I don't think she understands a better world. I don't know. People are digging so ridiculous. Jersey didn't get credit, and yes, Blake is her own worst enemy. Yeah, it's sad. I mean, Jersey should get credit. Worst thing she thought was very. I don't think TMZ should get credit for almost anything. They've been quite slow, in my opinion, from what I've seen. They haven't really broke the news. They broke the news. They're the ones that I found the lawsuit info.com or whatever website on. Everyone was, like, mentioning it, but I couldn't, like, no one was sending the audience there besides them. So that was the only thing that I saw that they broke, but everything else, like, Candace Owens has broken some things. Everyone has had their moment. Um, but yeah, the Jersey should definitely get that credit. Um, Anything that I missed from earlier? Let's see. Uh, yeah, had male makeup artists do my makeup that way. Didn't bother me. Yeah, like using their finger to, like, put lipstick on. Um, it depends. Everything, like, you have to trust your gut, of course. But I mean, when you have a history like she does of, like, just constantly seeing things for what they're not, just, like, amplifying them, it just screams more and more like she doesn't even believe it. I don't know. Um, Blabbermouth Blake keeps telling on herself. So unfunny. I like so unfunny. I don't know if you really meant to say that, but yeah, that's awesome. It is. It's entertaining though. It's not funny. I was saying earlier, like, I was just enraged watching the Forbes thing. I was just, like, all caps screaming in my notes, just shut up. It was basically the theme. Um, yeah, she needs therapy. That's what I said. Worst thing she thought was buried throughout the years. People are doing and didn't view. I don't view feminism as that way. It's like she thinks everyone lusts after her. yeah, I don't even know if that's what she thinks necessarily, but she's just like, "Ooh, this is something people use against people." Um, but yeah. And then I'll play this one too, just because again, probably people have already seen this. I'm not gonna play all of it honestly, because it just like hurts. Maybe I don't know. I'll see, but I can't watch this. This is just wrong. This is just like ethically wrong, in my opinion.
There's a reason all men love because at Betty Buzz, we don't test on animals. We test on men. That's a good boy. Drink up. Let him know how good it is.
Betty Buzz.
So that was like the one that is circulating around the internet now, and that it just hurt me. I find that so uncomfortable. And then, that's the other thing. Like, she's hurting definitely the feminist movement, which just has had a tough time. My oh, I don't have my charger here, but I'm gonna go soon, but has had a hard time trying to like stand up for itself, where a long time ago, not a very long time ago, but there was a moment of male hating. And the other thing that I thought of was like this idea that Taylor and Blake have, the way that they take this mission on is like becoming the people that they criticize. So let me pull this up to have some specific examples, but in Taylor Swift's song "The Man," she basically, the whole song is like, if I was a man, I would be found cool, I would be found complex, I would be the fearless leader, alpha type. I would be believed. They say I hustled, put in the work. They wouldn't shake their heads and question how much of it I deserve. If I was rude, could all be separated from my good ideas and power moves. And if they would toast to me, let the players play, just like Leo and Saint Tropez. It's like, okay, so I believe a better world means, and this is literally what I was thinking going to bed last night, or, trying to. That's not my idea of a better world, for women to do these things that, have hurt, um, when men have done it, have hurt the world, and have hurt women, and have hurt men, and all this stuff. That's not my idea of a better world. But their take, from what I see, both Taylor and Blake, with this ad, oh my gosh, which I truly think it's unethical anyways, but um like, their take is, you know what she was saying, that she admires in Beyonce, and that thank goodness Beyonce made it okay for women to be um fixated basically on like attention to detail or whatever. And I'm like, you have to separate what you've been oppressed by from what you want for the world. And again, that's what leads me so much to Justin Baldoni's movement, of like healthy masculinity. And I love that he like focuses on that part instead of like toxic masculinity and putting that down, because it's like, I don't feel like women becoming toxic femininity, toxic masculine themselves is the answer. And yet that's what it feels like Blake thinks needs to be done, or what she's. Bohemian Diva actually did this. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Bohemian Diva did like a video um on like, she's, was it Bohemian Diva? I think so. Like, her feminism being like, she's using the patriarchy. No, not Bohemian Diva. Oh, what's her name? I forget. Oh no. Hold on. I really want to share her video. Or not her video, because I don't have, but I'll include the link. oh gosh, where do I even find it? Oh, I don't know her name, but she talked about this, like how um this person that I don't know their name. I'm so sorry if you're watching this. Um but yeah, she talked about how Blake is using her using the patriarchy privilege in her feminism, activism, whatever. I'll find it later and I'll add it. I have so many in my history, so many videos. Um, but yeah, so anyways, yeah, Bohemian Diva. It wasn't her for this one though. Maybe she also did something like that, but that's not where I heard it. True equality is we women get to do to them what they did to women. Yeah, yeah. And that smiley, upside down smiley. Oh no. Yeah. Wow. What commercial is this for again? It was for Betty Buzz or for Betty Booze. Because Betty Buzz is the non-alcoholic. Betty Booze is the alcoholic, obviously. Um, yeah. It was for Betty Buzz. It was the non-alcoholic one. Wait, well, I just kind of got lost. I forgot what I was searching for, but okay. That's a real lively. Yeah, that commercial was very unfunny. I hear internet records everything, even if you delete it. It's like she thinks everyone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything we have ever posted, it's there. It might take hacking to, unearth it, but I don't think anything can be truly wiped out off the internet. I might be wrong. I don't know, but uh, I'm quite confident I agree with that too. That's what I know of as well. Anyways, yeah, yeah. I usually post. I can post on the community board too. I usually include like all the links that I talk about in a video on here. Like once this is done, like as a comment or in the description. Sorry, I update the description. It'll take me a while because I haven't watched her. Usually, this YouTuber comes right up on my home screen, but I haven't watched her in a while. And maybe YouTube's like, oh, I guess you're not interested in this person anymore, but I am. She doesn't post that often either. But yeah, I'll post on both sides. Oh, I found it. I found it. I didn't find the video, but I found the person, the YouTuber, Amber Cotrone. This is the one. And I think maybe it's this one.
So one of the things in this lawsuit that has been really bugging me and I want to discuss, and also my brand of feminism might be different from your brand of feminism. As a feminist, I am supporting the man in a sexual harassment lawsuit where he is being accused of the sexual harassment. Seems kind of contradictory, right? It seems so on the surface, but let's get into why I think that if you are supporting Blake Lively, that's just it's fake feminism. It's not real. It's an illusion. This woman made a movie or was part of a movie and the more meaningful aspects of the movie and just been like, hey, grab your girlfriends, wear your not just them being an imperfect victim. There's reactive abuse stuff, but I don't think that that applies to Blake Lively's case. I think that she is very narcissistic in just how she operates.
Anyway, sorry, my battery is so low. My computer is going to like crash in soon. I'm at 4%. Oh my gosh, shoot. Yeah, I have to run. Because yeah, I don't know where the thing is. But yeah, watch that. I think it was that video where she talks about it, or watch her videos. They're quite short and I love her. But yeah, watch her videos. Thank you for joining me. Um yeah, good. She's awesome. I think she does such a good job at talking about this. But yeah, yeah, I'm sorry, P. You did miss a lot. Um, have a wonderful night. I will run out of here. I'll see you guys. I think tomorrow, or maybe Friday during the day. It's like Valentine's Day on Friday, but have a wonderful night. We'll see what comes up. And thank you for joining me. Bye. Peace, love, and compassion. Which is kind of ironic after we kind of trashed Blake for like 2 hours, but I don't know if it's considered trashing. It probably is at some points. I don't know. I feel a little hypocritical saying that, so I take that back. I guess tonight is more like be petty. All right. Have a good night. Bye.